Here we have a question. The brother is asking us who the Salafis are. What does it mean to be a Salafi? In what sense do some Muslims call themselves Salafis? Here I opened a page about the Salafis.
المنهج السلفي. المنهج السلفي
means the path of the Salafis. What do the Salafis say there? It says,
ما هي أوجه الاختلاف بين المنهج السلفي والمناهج الأخرى؟
What are the points of difference between the path of the Salafis and the path of the others?
الإجابة.
The answer from the Wahhabi Salafis is
الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه أما بعد.
Well, that's how they start. All right, praise be to God, and blessings and peace be upon the Messenger of God, his family and his companions. Very well.
فإنه يقصد بالمنهج السلفي المنهج القائم على اتباع سبيل المؤمنين من السلف الصالح.
What the intention of that word is,
المنهج السلفي,
the path of the Salafis, means that we follow the path of the believers, of the pure and righteous ancestors. And who are these righteous
السلف الصالح?
Pure and righteous ancestors.
وهم أصحاب محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم.
That is the way of the companions of the Messenger of God.
ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين.
And after the companions of the Prophet of Islam, they say the companions had students. These students are called
تابعين. صحابة,
they are people who directly knew the Prophet of Islam. Students of the
Sahaba
mean the disciples of the Messenger of God's companions.
تابعين,
they call them. So it says we follow the
السلف الصالح,
the companions of the Prophet of Islam, and the tabi'in, the disciples of the companions.
وهم في كل عصر الفئة التي قال عنها رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم.
They are this group that the Messenger of God mentioned, and that narration is a false narration. But anyway, let's see what it says. That narration says,
لا تزال طائفة من أمتي على الحق لا يضرهم من خذلهم حتى يأتي أمر الله وهم كذلك. رواه مسلم.
It's a narration that says,
أصحابي كالنجوم بأيهم اقتديتم اهتديتم.
My companions are like the stars in the sky. Whoever will follow will be guided. Then it says those companions are the group that will always be on the path of God. They are on the path of truth, and no one and nothing can humiliate them or harm them until the decree of God arrives. In the book of Muslim.
ومنهج السلف يعني أن من انتسب إليه وسلك سبيله ليس بخارجين يستحل دم المسلم بالمعصية.
It says that Salaf, the path of the Salaf, means whoever belongs to them and follows their way. It is not outside of Islam for someone whose blood is lawful to commit sin.
هيك?
It says whoever follows their way, we do not consider him
خارجي.
Then if he is
خارجي,
he is
يستحل دم المسلم بالمعصية.
Is not one of those who will allow the blood of believers to be shed for sin. So the Khawarij have a description.
خوارج.
The person who says the Muslim is already an unbeliever, we can kill him. Why do you call him an unbeliever? You label another Muslim as an unbeliever, it says for committing sin.
ولا رافضيا يكفر الصحابة.
And it's not like the
رافضي.
What does Rafidi mean? It means people who reject the caliphs, the Sahaba, us and the Shia. We say we follow the Sunnah. They say they are
رافضي.
They say no, they are
رافضي
because they consider some of the companions of the Messenger of God to be unbelievers. But if you ask me, do you consider the companions of the Messenger to be unbelievers? I say no. I'm not crazy. Of course, among the companions of the Messenger of God, the Holy Quran, Surah Al-Munafiqun, God testifies that they are
منافق.
hypocrites, and it's not my fault. But he's saying that they are
منافق. Surah Al-Munafiqun.
You just put it, it's Surah Al-Munafiqun, you'll see it. God testifies that they are unbelievers. Surah Al-Munafiqun, chapter 63 of the Holy Quran.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim.
In the name of God, the most compassionate, the most merciful.
إذا جاءك المنافقون قالوا نشهد إنك لرسول الله.
Indeed, when the hypocrites, those who pretend to believe, come to you and say with their tongues that we bear witness with certainty that you are truly the messenger of Allah.
والله يعلم إنك لرسوله والله يشهد إن المنافقين لكاذبون.
Then Allah, who is all-knowing, knows that you are indeed His messenger. And God testifies that the hypocrites are liars. Liars haven't come from Mars, nor from the moon, nor were they extraterrestrial beings, but they were companions of the messenger of God. That God testifies that they are unbelievers.
اتخذوا أيمانهم جنة فصدوا عن سبيل الله إنهم ساء ما كانوا يعملون.
They had faith as a shield defending themselves. So, they prevented others from the path of God. How ugly what they are doing.
ذلك بأنهم آمنوا ثم كفروا فطبع على قلوبهم فهم لا يفقهون.
Initially, they had said that they believed and had faith in God, but then eventually returned back again to their previous state of disbelief. So consequently, God sealed up their hearts. They are people who do not have deep understanding. They are ignorant people. And he says to the messenger of God,
وَإِذَا رَأَيْتَهُمْ تُعْجِبُكَ أَجْسَامُهُمْ وَإِن يَقُولُوا تَسْمَعْ لِقَوْلِهِمْ.
When those hypocrites are around the messenger of God, when they talk about so much faith that they talk, "O messenger of God," you become like with your mouth open. Oh my God, what faith they have when they speak. When you see their pale bodies, you imagine that they are devotees. Yes, but the Holy Quran says,
كَأَنَّهُمْ خُشُبٌ مُّسَنَّدَةٌ يَحْسَبُونَ كُلَّ صَيْحَةٍ عَلَيْهِمْ.
They are like sticks that are placed against a wall. It's a metaphorical expression.
يَحْسَبُونَ كُلَّ صَيْحَةٍ عَلَيْهِمْ.
They believe that all the shouts are against them because they are hypocrites.
هم العدو فاحذرهم قاتلهم الله أنى يؤفكون.
They are truly enemies.
هم العدو.
God bears witness that some of those
Salafis الصالح
were enemies of God. He says,
فاحذرهم.
O messenger of God, stay away from these hypocritical companions.
قاتلهم الله.
May God kill them.
أنى يؤفكون.
Where are they going? Do you see? These groups of hypocrites were among the companions of the messenger of God. So not all of God's companions are
منهج الصالح.
nor are they all good people. For example, the companions of the messenger of God who attacked Fatima's house, may peace be upon her, crushed the only daughter of the messenger of God between the door and the wall, killing Fatima, and causing her to miscarry her son Muhsin, who was in her mother's womb. All those cruelties they committed against the family of the Prophet of Islam. They can be believers, they can be Muslims, who have mistreated the family of the Prophet of Islam. So they come, oh no, let's see. They made so many wars against
Imam Ali alayhi salam.
For example, Muawiyah killed many companions of the Messenger of God. Abu Bakr the same, Omar the same, Osman the same. Aisha made a war against
Imam Ali alayhi salam.
And then they made so many fights, so many wars killing Muslims. They are true believers.
Umar ibn Khattab,
prohibiting the narration of stories about the Messenger of God, brings in a rabbi named
Ka'b al-Ahbar,
and says this rabbi is now a Muslim, and gives him the pulpit of the Messenger of God in the mosque of the Prophet of Islam, where Imam Ali is forbidden to speak, to give sermons. It's forbidden for Imam Ali, it's forbidden for
Abdullah ibn Mas'ud,
but for that Jewish rabbi
Ka'b al-Ahbar,
who now says he is a Muslim and follows the same teachings as the Jews, then that person will take the sermon before the Friday prayer. Who dictates it? Ka'b al-Ahbar and another monk named
Tamim ad-Dari.
When Omar prohibits narrating stories of the Messenger of God at that time, this man gives permission to the Jews and Christians to handle the publicity, the propaganda, because the mosque is the place where an idea is publicized. In the mosques back then,
Masjid al-Haram, Masjid al-Nabi
were the two most important places. Who was leading the Friday sermon at
Masjid al-Nabi? Ka'b al-Ahbar.
Ka'b al-Ahbar, the rabbi, thanks to Mr.
Umar ibn Khattab.
So they say, oh, the Shia who tell the truth and all that history, oh, those are the bad ones. The Shia lie. You go judge. I'm not going to say anything. So,
Manhaj al-Salaf
means the people who are neither
Khariji.
The Kharijis have a character that anyone who commits a sin, they say, we're going to kill them. He says the
Manhaj al-Salafi
are neither
Khawarij
nor
Shia
nor
Rafidi. ولا محرف متأول بالباطل ممن ينفي صفات الله وينفي معانيها.
Is a discussion between the Ash'ari and the
Mu'tazileh.
He says that we are not among the misguided. The misguided, those who change the descriptions of God and the concepts attributed to God. They're a philosophical concept that asks whether the attributes of God correspond to God himself, or are they a different characteristic that has been added to God? It's a discussion and all that.
ولا مشبها لله بخلقه.
And he says we are not among those who will say that God is similar to creation. God is not like material life. God is nothing material. We are not going to compare God to human beings.
ولا حلوليا ممن يقول بوحدة الوجود.
We are not among those who say that God
وحدة الوجود
means there is only one total existence, which is God. Everyone lives in God. So they say that it's just one existence, that everything is God.
أو أن الله قد حل في خلقه.
And to say that God has incorporated or that God has been incarnated in people.
أو صوفيا ممن يعبدون القبور.
We are not among the Sufis who worship at graves.
ويقدمون لها النذور.
Those who present offerings at the graves.
فهو المنهج السلفي.
This is our Salafi path.
السلفي الطريق والنهج الذي سار فيه الصحابة والخلفاء الراشدون.
The path which was followed by the companions and the rightly guided caliphs. The rightly guided caliphs refer to Abu Bakr, who ordered the burning of Fatima's house, Omar ibn Khattab, who killed Fatima, Osman, who killed many companions of the Messenger of God, and in the end, he did so much evil that the Muslims killed him and ousted him from power. Then there was his wife, then Imam Ali, who is referred to as the fourth caliph, then
Imam Hassan alayhi salam,
and then who comes next is Muawiyah. But they don't mention that.
خلفاء الراشدين. وأما المناهج الأخرى فقد حدث عن هذا الطريق.
But the different other paths are not in the Salafi path
in منهج السلف
that we have explained.
فأصابت في أشياء وأخطأت في أخرى.
They have good and bad things.
وتختلف فيما بينها قربا وبعدا.
And some of them are close, some are far away.
من منهج السلف.
The path of the Salaf.
بقدر إصابتها الحق الذي اشتمل عليه منهج السلف وحيدتها عنه.
Says that each one, based on their percentage, puts into practice the teachings of the
المنهج السلف,
which are correct. And those who have strayed from the teachings of the
منهج السلف
are incorrect. Well, we have already been faithful to what they, the Wahhabis, are explaining to you. Yes, that was the
منهج السلف.